Oh my God.
You did it.
I was so nervous. I was like, I hope I don't mess this up. This is my first time on Instagram
Nice.
live. So,
Cool.
but yeah, we got it together. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm
Cool.
healthy, which I'm grateful for. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good too. Staying
Good.
healthy, staying in, trying to
Yeah,
follow all the guidelines.
definitely.
So I just also I want to offer my well wishes to you. How has your quarantine experience been so far?
It's had its ups and downs for sure,
Hmm.
like everyone.
Like many of us, yeah.
I am very grateful. I'm trying to practice gratitude. I'm very
Hmm.
grateful that so far my family is healthy. I'm anxious. I have grandparents in nursing homes, and I have a lot of family that are that work in the medical field on the front lines. So I have ups and downs, but I'm
Right.
trying to meditate and exercise and stay busy, but also have
Yeah.
those days where I stay in sweatpants all day and
Yeah, I know it's nice, right? I'm like,
yeah,
I barely have to put makeup on these days. Like I can be in my
yeah,
sweatpants all day. So that's kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah,
I'm enjoying
yeah,
that.
for sure.
So let's just jump into last night's episode because it looks like a lot of people have questions.
Hmm.
Obviously, we want to know who killed Asher, but I know you're not going to tell us. Um, but can you just talk about now that the final six episodes have kicked off with the first episode
Yeah.
obviously being yesterday. What are you feeling like now that it's all sort of like the end is sort of nearer?
Yeah, I mean, it's wild because obviously it's been off the air for quite some time,
Right.
but we just finished filming it like the second week of February.
Right.
So it's kind of nice that ABC decided to delay these episodes
Hmm.
because it historically the show would have already aired.
Yeah, right.
But with this delay, it's nice because while we finished filming in February, we're now all coming back for like the
Right.
final six episodes. And I don't know if you saw last night, but Amira took over the How to Get with Murder Instagram, and we all
Hmm.
popped on the
Hmm.
live with her.
Hmm.
And especially in times as uncertain as these,
Right.
I think everyone's leaning on their friend circle, and this
Hmm.
show is
Hmm.
totally they're my family.
Right.
So it's nice.
Has it hit you yet that it's all coming to an end?
It's weird because I kind of had made that peace with it when we finished filming,
Yeah.
and I was like stealing things from set. I just looked over at a ceramic dog that I stole from the Culliver
Nice.
apartment.
Nice.
I'll show it to you guys in a minute. But
Mhm.
now that it's back on, it's yeah, it's a little surreal that I kind of have to revisit it because I had said goodbye to Connor.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
but
Yeah.
but it's all good, yeah.
Yeah. It seems very bittersweet.
It is
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, we had a big party that ABC threw us, and we all, had some drinks and danced and said our like teary goodbyes. I
Yeah.
think a weird thing to think about that like people outside of the industry might not consider is that when you do something like this for 6, 7 years with a cast, when it finishes, the reality sinks in that like you may never work with these people again.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
it's so rare to see cast members that have been on a show for so many years come together and work on something
Right.
else.
Right.
So barring a How to Get Murder like film or
Mhm.
reboot, like it's not very likely that I get to act opposite these people again, and that is very bittersweet for
Right.
sure.
Is that what would you say that was like, what you're gonna miss the most about the
Yeah,
movie?
absolutely. I mean, the cast and our crew is incredible, and just being able to go to work every day with these people has
Yeah.
been, a treasure for me.
Right. So let's talk about one of the most I felt heartfelt moments of last night's episode was
Mhm.
was obviously Connor and Michaela sort of coming together and saying that, hey, like it's both of us or none of us.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really sweet, especially now that it seems like the original team is broken.
Mm.
Why do you feel like those two decided to go in that decision versus something that versus what Asher decided to do with
Right.
with his?
Yeah, I think that, everyone processes trauma and grief differently,
Right.
which may account for Asher's actions. But to me, you know, like you said, the group has been fractured, and now Michaela and Connor are the remaining Keating five that or
Right.
Keating four even
Yeah.
that are here with us, and they've always had, I think, a very special bond and sort of an unbreakable bond. So I loved that when we got the script that's how it ended.
Right.
Because I do think it's a testament to their friendship that they'd be looking out for each other, even though they don't know that the other is doing the same for them.
Right. Exactly.
But I will say, you know, with these 5 episodes remaining, things are going to go down. And I think it, you know, it's just, there's a lot of instability in the group. And I think especially for Connor, now that Oliver's confessed and has implicated himself, Connor starts to feel very, very guilty that his husband is now in the middle of a murder trial, and that's definitely going to come out in other ways as well.
Yeah. And now that they sort of have these deals are in place, I mean, I know it's not, we can't say that Michaela and Connor are in the safe zone, or can we say that they are in the safe zone now that they have their deals?
No, I don't think I don't think anyone's in the safe zone ever on this show.
Right.
Yeah.
So besides each other and besides Oliver, as it stands right now, who can Connor trust? Like I said, the team seems broken. Everybody kind of seems like they're working in their own silos of.
I think to a degree, Michaela and Oliver, obviously, his parents.
His parents. His mom had a moment. This last episode, I loved it.
Yeah, Cynthia Nix, she's incredible. But it's. I think that trust is a big theme in the next 5 episodes, and just sort of seeing where your chips fall, because the group, it wasn't really built on trust, right? It was built on in this shared culpability around a murder that one member of the group committed.
Right.
And now that all of this is sort of unraveling, we start to question whether or not these people can really trust each other, and what beyond their shared guilt is holding them together as a group.
Right. So we're getting a lot of questions about who killed Asher. And like I mentioned before, I don't think we want to spoil. I don't think anybody wants to hear spoilers on who killed Asher. But I want to ask you, obviously you guys have wrapped filming. When you found out who killed him, how surprised were you? Or did you guess it?
I was very surprised. Okay. I was convinced it was one person, and I was very, very far off base. Whenever there's a murder on the show, we would start like betting pools on who it is, and I don't know if I've ever been right. So.
Oh my God! So we're probably gonna be. So we're probably not gonna be able to guess it then.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I want to ask, so the scene where the FBI agent is pulling out all the photos of people that have been deceased, I honestly, a lot of them I had forgotten about. I was like, oh wait, how has this group been able to move on with their lives and carry on their lives, knowing that all these people have died, not sort of under their watch, and some innocent, some guilty people?
Yeah.
How has the group been able to move on? How does life go on for them?
I mean, I don't think it has really. I think that they've all been living with trauma, and it's been coming out in different ways. And I think that they all apply themselves in their lives differently to work through that trauma. You know, countless times we've seen them throw themselves into law school and their studies and just focusing on that. But then other times we've seen them drinking heavily, or, you know, they took mushrooms to try and escape reality for a little bit. Yeah, I think that everyone has their own trauma. And like, you know, in earlier seasons, we saw Connor sleeping with every single person that had 2 legs. We saw the fallout from those decisions. And Now that like the matriarch, the boss, is, you know, missing, and things are obviously going to come blow for blow between all of them. I think without the stability of having Annalise at the head of the pack, things really fall apart.
And then I want to touch on Connor and Annalise's relationship, which has been very contentious for a long time. Has he reached his end point with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think he I think he has. And I think that, you know, Oliver has that I mean, Conrad, just incredible acting in this last episode where he says that he thinks Annalise deserves to go down for these things.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that Connor really starts to contemplate towards the end here, is, you know, the reality that this woman is sort of the mastermind and has pitted them against each other and lied and manipulated them over and over again. And where does Connor's agency fall in all of that? And, you know, I don't think it's a black and white thing for him. I think that he starts to feel kind of like what you were talking about, how do they deal with this trauma? And he starts to feel it on an intense level. And we see that sort of play out with his relationship with Michaela and with Oliver, and then obviously definitely with Annalise.
And then it seems like obviously Oliver, out of all of the group has kind of, not Oliver, I'm sorry, Connor, out of everybody has sort of had the heaviest sort of guilt as to what's been happening within the group. What does he feel a sense of responsibility about sort of what's been going on with everybody? And does he feel like he deserves to be punished?
Yeah, I think
everything falls on Annalise.
I think that Connor, like, from the beginning, you know, he was sort of this lone wolf, looking out for himself dude, but over the course of, you know, 6 seasons, we've seen him sort of evolve into a more empathetic person. And even in, you know, opening his heart to Oliver and a man that he loves, like, I never saw that coming at the beginning for Connor. And I think we do start to see him experience and work through a lot more guilt, as he's expressed, you know, throughout these 6 seasons. I think he's always been sort of had these devils inside of him about the crimes that he's been complicit in. So that's definitely a theme in the last 5 episodes for sure.
Yeah. And I want to ask about the episode that aired before winter hiatus. We saw that Wes is back and seemingly alive. I'm not sure in what first one, did you know that his character would be coming back? And 2, is there anything you can tease about what we're going to see from Wes moving forward? Just a broad stroke it if you have.
No, I did not know Wes was going to be coming back. But I was delighted, so I could see Alfie come back, and I can tease that we will see more of him, but I can't say anything beyond that.
Yeah, you know, this is deadline, so we like to get the tea. So I
have
to ask. What are you most looking forward to post in your career post How to Get Away with Murder?
Well, I'm most looking forward to us flattening the curve and defeating coronavirus, and everyone, you know, getting back out there and healthy, and it's, you know, it's an interesting question for right now, just because, as you know, like, the industry is pretty much shut down and it's put on pause. So I'm trying to, you know, remind myself of the things outside of my career that I'm grateful for, and my friends and family, and, you know, things that I've taken for granted, just being able to touch another human being and hug a loved one. So yeah, I don't know. I'm most excited for us to collectively get through this, and and I'll have a big group hug on the other side.
But like, as an artist, is there
Mhm.
something, a project that you've been sort of itching to tackle that now that you're
Yeah.
trying to think about? Is there some things that you want to?
Yeah, I'd love to get back on stage.
Oh,
I did over our last hiatus between seasons 5 and 6. I did a play in Washington D.C. called Falahee, Mississippi,
hmm
which was incredible. We did it at the Kennedy Center, and
hmm
it'd been so long. You know, I went to school for musical theater actually,
hmm
so that was my first real passion as an actor, and just getting, you know, to be able to satisfy that itch a little bit with this past production
hmm
made me definitely yearn for more
Right,
possibilities to get
right,
on stage. You know, whether it be in LA or New York or London, there's great theater being made
right.
all over the world right now. So,
Is there a particular role that you would love to take on, or
um,
be part of a particular show?
you know, I was really jealous of Alfred because he got cast as Romeo uh,
Mm,
at the Globe, and he obviously, knock on wood, the production, you know, keeps going forward. But
right, right.
he'll be amazing. But that was one of those roles when, you know, as a kid, the first time I read Romeo and Juliet, I was like, I want to do this.
Mm,
Um, yeah, but I mean, there's so many, but yeah, I'd love to get back on stage. And then one day, you know, I just started this band.
oh
Um,
yeah, I read about
yeah,
that.
so, you know, getting back on stage with the band, we had to cancel our tour
Mm,
due to coronavirus. But then also one day getting on stage in a musical, I'd love to do
yeah,
as well. Yeah.
yeah. So just getting back to How to Get Away with
hmm
Murder. Looking back on your time spent on the show, what are some of the moments that stand out to you?
Man, I mean, I always go back to the pilot from a personal standpoint, just because it was such a like innocent and excited time for us, where we were
Yeah.
all, you know, relatively young and new to the game. I was certainly very, you know, it was my
Mm,
first big job, and we were in Philadelphia shooting on location in the middle of the winter,
mhm.
and it was just so exciting. And I think there was something really great about that time because we had no idea what was about to happen.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we were in this little bubble and just, you know, making the most of it and having like sleepovers, eating ice cream in hotel rooms.
Mhm,
And
mhm, mhm.
little did we know that, you know, when it aired, 14 million people would be watching.
Yeah.
Um,
The power
yeah,
of Shondaland, man.
yeah, totally. And like, you know, I mean, the pilot itself, like Pete wrote an incredible pilot. And I think that's why, you know, it attracted someone like Viola to join, and obviously Shonda's involvement. But I remember we were all in Philadelphia before Viola had been cast.
Mm.
And so we were still kind of sitting there like, who's going to be our
Wow.
Annalise? And the director and Pete came in one day and said, Viola Davis is going to be
Mm.
playing Miss Keating. And we all like collectively gasped, because she obviously was a huge hero and role model of mine
Mhm,
as
mhm.
a young actor. But then, you know, as the show went on, I certain moments really stick out in the storytelling. You
Yeah.
know, I remember when we did the episode where we talked about PrEP medication for HIV.
Yeah.
Afterwards, they found a spike in people asking about PrEP to their doctors
Yeah.
and going on the medication, and seeing how our show could have a real world effect was very meaningful.
Yeah. I learned it's so funny what this show kind of gave over the years. It broke so many different um traditional tropes of what, you know, what is, who can be deemed as sexual, who can, it was definitely a glass ceiling breaker.
Yeah.
um um so what, oh, sorry, my phone. What you mentioned that you took items from the set. What other
Hmm.
items did you take, or was it just that one?
I think Pete's like watching right now, so,
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
sorry, Pete. No, it's fine.
We're
I
not trying to
took,
get anybody in trouble.
It's cool. It's cool. I didn't steal a
Yeah.
car or anything, so
Okay.
I think I'm fine.
Yeah.
I took this little. I don't know. I mean, it's sort of an Easter egg for fans, but in Oliver's original apartment, he had like little like statues of pugs, like dogs around.
Yeah.
And it was just like one of those fun things that the set decorator, like, you know, embellished life in the apartment with. And then as we moved into the Keating 5 house, these like ceramic dog statues followed us.
Nice.
So we would always make fun of these like little ceramic dog statues, and they're like in the background. You never see them, right?
Right.
So Conrad and I each took little dog statues. I took a bunch of Middleton gear.
Oh,
like,
nice.
That usually like the background artists would be wearing, or like every now and then like Michaela or Asher's wearing like a Middleton football sweatshirt.
Okay.
And then I took a couple of Connor's suits.
Nice. Connor has some nice style, so I can see why.
Yeah, for sure.
And just to wrap it up, I know, like I said, we don't want any spoilers, but I'm gonna ask for one more tease. What are you most excited for people to see in these final 6 episodes?
Who dies?
Yeah. So is there going to be more deaths to come?
There might be.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
the head count
it's called How to Get Away
so
with Murder.
Now. It was like 8 photos that the guy pulled out, and I'm like, there were 8 people that died.
Oh yeah, the body count is crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, it is called How to Get Away with Murder, so so that makes sense. Well, Jack, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I can't wait. I've been a fan since the beginning, and I can't wait to see how everything comes together in the end.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for people to see it too. Thank you for taking the time, and
and
stay healthy.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in too, and you stay healthy as well.
Everyone stay healthy.
Yeah, stay inside.
Stay inside.
All right.
All right, I'll see you. Bye.
Okay, bye.